Dober večer vsem. In Slovenian it means good evening to everyone. I'm really happy that you came here today for our presentation. I hope you will enjoy the evening. My name is Jan Klavora. I'm the director of Visit Goodplace. Today with us we have Andrej Bandel, head of our guides.
Hello, dober večer. Nice to meet you.
We have Katja De Franceschi, operational director.
Hi.
And three of us will present you our offer today. So before Andrej starts, I would just like to ask him to start the presentation, just to say a few words about our company, Visit Goodplace. We are located in Slovenia, but we operate in the region of Alpe Adria, so a little bit in Austria, a little bit in Italy, a lot in Slovenia, and more now in Croatia. We and our clients consider ourselves as a 5-star rated tour operator. You can check out TripAdvisor or Google or Facebook. And we did also, we got also a lot of international recognition. For instance, the last 2 awards were the first one from National Geographic. Our Slovenia Green Gourmet Route was chosen as one of the top 25 tours in the world for 23. And Guardian chose our Slovenia Green Wellness Route as one of the top 5 sustainable holidays for 23. We are really proud of that. And as you can see from what I'm saying, we are very committed to sustainability. We have 3 certificates. We are really proud of the first one, B Corp. We are the first company in Slovenia that has a B Corp certification, but we also have a Travel Life and Slovenia Green. Before Andrej starts, just 2 really important information. We will record today's session. And if you have any questions, please just put them into chat, and Katja will come back with the answer as soon as possible. So fasten your seatbelts, enjoy the evening, and Andrej, the word is yours.
Yeah, hello once again. It's a big pleasure for me to be with you today. My name is Andrej. I have some years of guiding experience, especially in bike guiding and also in hike tours. I'm also personally passionate hiker, mountain biker, and also trail runner. So I combine my passion with my work, which is a great opportunity to be with Visit Goodplace. Here I would like to show you this map. All red lines represent our tracks, which we have developed in recent years. Already more than 10,500 kilometers in Slovenia and in neighboring countries. As you can see on the map, we are positioned between Austria, Italy, Croatia, and here in the east also Hungary. And this dense network of red tracks represents tours we are offering. As you can see here, our company offers you 8 mountain bike tours, 8 touring programs, which are easier, following side roads and gravel roads. We also offer 1 beautiful hiking tour on the spurs of First World War in Slovenian mountains. And our specialty, you can join us on walking tour through the forests with wildlife watching. Slovenia is famous for being rich in wildlife. This is our program for today. What are we going to talk about? We would like to introduce you our touring program today. Our cycling tours considered prepared mostly for cyclists who like touring cycling. We will show you our best-selling tours, and we will go deeper into 2 of them, Bike Slovenia Green Gourmet Tour and Istria to the Adriatic Tour. At the end, we will tell a little bit more about services we offer, and we will give you some time for questions and answers, as we said. Yeah, one of the most important questions which comes into your and our mind when we are deciding for the next vacation is, why would you like to visit Slovenia and Croatia? There are many reasons. We could talk about them for hours, but we don't have enough time, of course. But some of them, some very important of them, are especially landscape diversity. This part of Europe is on the crossroads of landscapes. And this means practically that when you come here with your bicycle, when you join us on one of our tours, you can expect to see something different every couple of kilometers. Crossing from the Alps towards the Adriatic Sea. In between, we have many beautiful wine regions. We also have very rich karst area full of dense forests above the sea, above ground, and beautiful karst caves underneath. In the east of Slovenia, we have plains, we have Pannonia, which gives you something new once again. I can tell you from experience, when we do the tours, we need to stop many times because the views reaching our guests are stunning, and there are really plenty of opportunities to take breathtaking photos, to share them on social media, or to take them home to remember for your lifetime. And the same story is in Croatia. Of course, everyone knows the beautiful coastline our neighbors in the south can offer, but it's not just the sea and the islands, it's also the interior, full of beautiful medieval towns off the beaten track, and also many secrets to discover in Croatian mountains, and part of them will be on offer on our tours as well. And last but not least, as I said, we are on the crossroads here in this part of Europe, the crossroads of geographic regions, the crossroads of nations, languages, traditions, architecture, but also, as you can see here, the food. The cuisine in Slovenia and Croatia is extremely rich because, as I say, and as we usually say, we have taken the best from everyone around us to combine these dishes in our special way, from hearty dishes in the Alps towards Italian-influenced food along Italian border, and down towards the Adriatic coastline, where fish and other seafood go into the first place to make your experience unforgettable. In the east of the country, in Pannonia, we have another influence from Hungary, Central European food, very hearty again. So in a small place, in a couple of days of tour, you won't only have beautiful views, beautiful cycling experience, but also unforgettable gourmet culinary joy, let's say. Yeah, I would like to show you an interesting map now. If we begin, because maybe some of you don't know exactly about which part of Europe we are talking now, Slovenia is positioned, yeah, it's a cliche, but it's true, in center of Europe, squeezed between the Alps, which we have here in the northwest, the Adriatic Sea as part of the Mediterranean in the south, the Pannonian plains stretching from Hungary into neighboring countries, and here in the middle, this green area on the map is the Dinaric Alps, or karst region, as we can also name it, full of, as I said, underground caves and beautiful forests, rich with wildlife and so on. This patchwork of different colors here shows you touring tours which we offer you. And I will take a couple of minutes just to introduce these different tours to you. You can find them on our website. We will show you the links at the end of the session. Every tour is described there, and my colleagues will also put some YouTube links into the chat section of this session, and you will also be able to watch some half an hour or shorter clips about the tours we are going to represent. Okay, this black line here is the longest tour you can have with us, connecting two world-famous cities, two historic cities, Salzburg in Austria and Venice in Italy, but also crossing through the beautiful landscapes of Slovenia. This line is divided into three parts because we need to cross the Alpine ridges, and we do this using train connections. But altogether, it is almost 500 kilometers long. If I zoom in, the green line is the epic Slovenia. The name tells you everything. This route, which begins, as you can see here, in Austria, very close to the triple border, goes a little bit into Italy and then through Slovenia, and then a little bit again into Italy, and in the south in Croatia. So it connects 4 countries and numerous, very diverse landscapes from the Alps through beautiful river valleys, wine growing regions, karst area, down to the Adriatic coastline in only 400 kilometers. The blue line is a shorter tour around Slovenia's only and very beautiful national park named after Slovenia's highest mountain. So this is the encircling of the national park in a little bit less than 200 kilometers. The orange route is, and again, its name tells you everything, Alps to Adriatic, similar to the green one, but connecting those landscapes a little bit to the east, also passing very famous lake landscapes here in Bled, for example, one of the most famous places in Slovenia, and the beautiful Bohinj glacial valley here in the national park, and then through the tunnel by train, of course, and then again to the wine growing regions and towards the coastline. Then we have this tour, which is called Slovenia Gourmet Wellness Route North, connecting the eastern part of Slovenia, so a little bit away from the Alps, through, let's say, hilly regions, from Slovenian capital city Ljubljana, eastwards across second city of Slovenia, Maribor, and ending in Pannonian plains in the thermal spa regions, very rich with not only thermal water, but also cuisine, good wine, very good restaurants, and beautiful roads connecting those places into 270 kilometers long route. Then we also have continuation of it, the pink line, Wellness Route South, following more or less parallel to Croatian border, as you can see, a little bit north from Croatian capital Zagreb, and again across some hilly regions, through the vineyards, so through some historic towns, visiting many delicious, many places with delicious food, and ending in another spa town in Laško, here more or less in central Slovenia, in about 300 kilometers, as you can see. Then we have this route, which we are going to introduce you a little bit more precisely in a couple of minutes. It is a gourmet route, Bike Slovenia Green gourmet route, in its western and eastern part. I will introduce it to you in a couple of minutes. And we will do the same with this one, a connection between Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia, Istria to the Adriatic, connecting Adriatic coast and hinterland areas on the peninsula. And the last one, the blue one, is Istria Gourmet, our new tour, which we really like to recommend it to you, because again, it connects 3 countries, beginning in Trieste in Italy, crossing Slovenia, following some old railway route, and then through historic medieval towns of Croatian hinterland, down to the coast and ending in Pula, famous town on the tip of Istrian Peninsula, after a little bit more than 200 kilometers. Okay, if we go on, yeah, a little bit about technical issues, technical, let's say, information. Our tours are between 6 and 11 days long, where the first day is usually the arrival day, and then the rest are the biking days. The fitness level which you need to join us on our tours is, as you can see, low to moderate. We are talking about relatively easy tours using picturesque side roads and gravel roads with perfect gravel, so it's really easy to ride. Technical difficulty is therefore low to medium. Every day we make between 35 and 45 kilometers, and the elevation which we gain is relatively small, between 300 and 500 meters, 550 meters. Several highlights along our routes include the national parks in all 4 countries, from the Alps to the sea, and many UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which you can find here. Okay, the concept of our Bike Slovenia Green tours is very important. Our tours try to connect destinations with green certificate. So we are talking about sustainability, green tourism. We want to support local communities. We always find local services, for example, smaller family-run business, accommodation, tourist farms, artisans, winemakers, everything on a small scale, everything local, everything sustainable, as I said. When we travel green, which means that on those sections where we are not biking, we use trains instead of road transport. We try to avoid the use of plastic. We know this. And as I said, we prioritize small family-run business and also accommodations. So you can expect, when you join us, to spend unforgettable nights in some very, very, let's say, welcoming tourist farms or small family-run hostels and so on. Our tours connect diverse landscapes, wine regions, culinary destinations, and cities on, let's say, every part of those countries which are included into our system. But let's talk about our first tour today, Bike Slovenia Green Gourmet Tour. I will show you the map of it in a couple of minutes. As I said before, it is divided into 2 parts: western part in Western Slovenia and the part on the eastern side of our country. This tour starts and ends in the capital Ljubljana. So when you will come, we will meet in the capital city, and then we will start cycling along the route, which will be presented very soon. You will gain between 500 and 600 meters per day. And as I said, the riding will be on local roads and excellent quality gravel roads. Train transfer sections are in between. This is the map of the tour. The tour begins in Ljubljana, in the capital city, and then we organize transport westwards to a little town of Kobarid, in one of the most beautiful valleys, not only in Slovenia, but also in the Alps in general. The town is named Kobarid. It has some interesting history. It is, let's say, an adventure sports center, but also a very important culinary destination. For example, the 2 Michelin stars winner restaurant and one of the best restaurants in the world is positioned just 3 kilometers away from Kobarid. And then we go southwards through Tolmin, following the Soča River into Brda region. This is this little pocket of Slovenia squeezed between Italy from 3 sides. It is a kind of Slovenian Tuscany with beautiful vineyards, which continue then into Vipava Valley. This is this part of the country. Again, we have beautiful side roads here, which will take you to the best restaurants, through the most picturesque vineyards, and so on. Something completely different follows here, close to the city of Trieste in Italy, as you can see. It is karst region, actually the original karst region, which we call Kras in Slovenia, the one which gave its name to every similar geographic regions all over the world. After we visit some UNESCO World Heritage caves here, I will show you later, we travel by train. This is this gray line, again to Ljubljana, crossing it, and a little bit more towards the east to a little town of Hrastnik in the Sava River Valley. And then we continue with the second part of the tour, following the Sava River this way, and then crossing the Kozjansko Park, a very well preserved, natural, pristine region in eastern Slovenia, interrupted again with beautiful vineyards. We are going to cross old traditional spa towns like Olimie and Rogaška Slatina, very close to Croatian border, and then coming to the real Pannonia through the oldest town in Slovenia, Ptuj, with some interesting traditions, and then finally we reach Maribor, the second city of Slovenia, and the final loop on our tour will be through it's already a cliche now, through wine growing landscape here close to Austrian border. And on the last day, we return back by train to the capital city of Ljubljana, where our tour finishes. I will show you some photos now, so you will get a better view into the tour. Here you have Slovenian capital, Ljubljana, which we visit a little bit in the beginning, and then we travel to the Soča Valley. The Soča, the Emerald River, as we call it, is definitely the most beautiful watercourse in Slovenia, with some beautiful places like this one on the confluence of two rivers. Don't worry, the water is cold, but it happens many times when we are biking, especially in hot summers, that we make a stop here. The bikers go to the beach, let's say, and we need some refreshment before we continue. It's a perfect place to do it. Some beautiful viewpoints. Practically every couple of kilometers, you have beautiful opportunities to take some amazing shots. Another view of that beautiful valley, the Soča River here in the middle, and here again. And as I said, delicious food. I mentioned you Kobarit with Michelin star restaurants where we begin the real cycling. And then we come to Brda region here in the bottom left photo with vineyards. It's really a kind of, we call it Slovenian Tuscany. It's a small region full of hilltop villages, full of underground cellars, of course. And this is a perfect place to finish the day, tasting the food there, which is heavily influenced by Italy, which is just a stone throw away. And it offers some of the best wines in Slovenia. So we had some beautiful evenings with our groups, sipping a glass of wine, discussing Slovenia, discussing the daily stage and preparing for the next one, which will take us through Vipava Valley. Vipava Valley was proclaimed a couple of years ago by the Lonely Planet as one of the most attractive and the best wine regions in the world. It's about 50 kilometers long. It has some famous wind conditions in winter time, but don't worry, we are going to cycle here in spring, summer, and autumn, which will be perfect time to join us here. We will visit some wine keepers and again taste some delicious wines. Then on stage number 4, we climb a little bit into the karst region. We will let's say see more and more rocks and stones along the way, because we are entering the limestone part of Slovenia, where there is no surface water, only underground caves, but a lot to taste and do in maybe I can say every village we are going to cross. Don't be surprised, it happens very often when we come through some of the villages. We take us a couple of minutes to talk with some local who comes out of their house to greet us, and it's not an exception if we are invited inside into the let's say house, again just to say a couple of words and sip another glass of wine maybe before going on. Some more shots from this part of Slovenia. As I said, old villages fortified on top of the hills. Everything is constructed of stone, which is abundant here. And of course, you cannot see the wine cellars at the first glimpse. You must take your time, leave your bike somewhere in the shade and go a couple of meters down to see what the locals here have produced throughout the year. A very famous picture here in the bottom right, the Lipican horses, the famous white horses from Slovenia. We will also cross the cradle of these horses, a small village called Lipica, and you will see these Lipican horses very close, couple of meters away. Yeah, then we are leaving this western part of Slovenia and going back to Ljubljana, the capital, just before continuing towards the east of the country, which is completely different, which gets more Pannonian, and you will see we will cross the landscape using such gravel field roads with some traditional architecture along. And you will also notice that not only the wine, which will be more and more concentrated on white sorts here in the east, because we have red wine in the west. Here you will also have completely different cuisine, which we will come along. On the 8th stage, we will go through Kozjansko region, very rich with pristine forests, with wild animals. Maybe we will meet some, but don't be afraid of the famous Slovenian brown bears. They are not in this part of the country. We are not going there to cycle. You must join us on some of these wildlife watching tours to meet the brown bears. Here you will see some deer and something similar. We will cross some spa towns. We will actually spend one night here in Podčetrtek, which offers you some spa experience as well. And this is already Ptuj, the oldest town in Slovenia with very rich Roman heritage and exceptional architecture. Here we are crossing the Drava River, the Drava coming from Austria into Slovenia. We will visit the little town squeezed between the river and the castle hill. It's definitely the best place to spend next night. The 10th stage takes us not far away, just 30 kilometers away, to Maribor, the second biggest city in Slovenia, again on the Drava River, full of beautiful places to hang around. And it also offers us some unforgettable loop for the last day of our tour, because we will leave the city and visit the vineyards on the northern outskirts of Maribor, close to Austrian border. There are amazing little roads connecting these vineyards, and this will be, let's say, the best possible farewell from this tour, which we will conclude, as I mentioned to you, by train ride back to Slovenian capital Ljubljana, where everything has begun 11 days earlier. So much about Slovenia Gourmet Tour. Now I would like to introduce you another one from our list, which is Istria to the Adriatic. It's a shorter one. You can see just a little bit more than 200 kilometers in 6 stages. It is connecting a very interesting region in Istrian Peninsula, which is, by the way, the biggest peninsula in the Adriatic Sea, shared by Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia. We will gain just about 250 to 350 meters of elevation per day. So it's really easy to ride. Again, I'll show you the map. Here in the north, you can see the Italian city of Trieste. Just a couple of kilometers to the south of it, we begin in Venetian-style town called Muja or Milje. It's bilingual. Then we cross Slovenian coastline following the old railway tracks. You can see it here on the photo on the right side. Now it is dedicated to cyclists. We come to Piran, the most beautiful coastal town in Slovenia, just before crossing the border to Croatia and turning away from the Adriatic coast for a couple of days, visiting some medieval fortified towns like Grožnjan, Opertal, Motovun here in the central part of Istria, just before coming down to UNESCO World Heritage site in Poreč and turning, following the coastline, as you can see on the map, towards the north, reaching the westernmost point of Croatia, here on Savudrija Peninsula, and then re-entering Slovenia, concluding our tour in Piran. Let's go day by day with some photos. Here you can see Piran on the left side, and here in the bottom right as well. This part of Slovenia is let's say, very Venetian. These places have spent half a millennium in former Venetian Republic, and you can spur this on every step, practically on every cycling meter. Of course, you have plenty of opportunities to dive into the sea. I will never forget, I had one group a couple of years ago. After the daily stage, they simply left their bikes in the shade on the shore, and they jumped into the sea with their equipment on, with helmets including. I mean, it was an unforgettable and very funny sight. It happened very close to this place. You can see here on the right, these are the salt pans in Sečovlje. It is still active production site. It's possible to see how the salt is produced here, the sea salt, of course, every summer. So this is our first day. The second day, we are already in Croatia. Here you still have an image from the seaside, but then on the right side, you can see that we already enter some medieval towns, artisan towns. This is a photo from Grožnjan. By the way, many photos we are showing you today were shared with us by our clients, by people who spent time with us on our tours. As I said, Grožnjan is full of culture. On every step you can meet artists who have moved into this town from many places around Europe, just to find some peace, and they can create their art in this almost forgotten village, I can say. But nowadays it's not so forgotten anymore, and especially in summer it gets visited by many people. But of course, we will take you through the landscape, following some routes which are a little bit, let's say, away from the main roads. So don't expect too many crowds out of the towns. Again, cuisine on every step. When you are on the coast, you can enjoy fish and other seafood. Just a couple of kilometers inland, you will notice how rich Istrian Peninsula actually is on olive oil, sheep and goat cheese, on meat, and so on. So it's really an unforgettable experience also in culinary sense. On the day number 3, we come to Motovun. This is the place on the bottom right side here, a fortified town, very famous for hosting international movie festival in summer every day. It's also a very famous place for truffles. Istria is one of the top regions in Europe for truffle hunting. You can also afford such experience if you want, but definitely you will experience very different types of food. Once again, those 2 photos here, for example, the 2 with food, of course, were taken last year when our Visit Goodplace team was doing some research in Istria. So we could afford us some unforgettable experience, which we usually share with our guests, just with us as well. Yeah, on stage number 4, we come to the coast once again. Here on the bottom, on the top right side, you can see Poreč, a famous place with some UNESCO World Heritage sites, like old basilica, old church with wonderful mosaics to visit. And then we turn northwards, stage number 5. This is the one which follows the coast all the time. You remember the map from the beginning. There are beautiful cycling trails along the coast. There are also some side roads which will take us far away from traffic, and we will have really many opportunities to do some to take some rest, to afford some swimming. Don't forget, this part of the Adriatic Sea gets very warm in summer, but if you join us in the shoulder seasons, like this is the best time to come in this part of Europe. Actually, we are talking about May, beginning of June, and on the other hand, September, or even better, October. Last year we were there in October, and it was really perfect. We were swimming, we were riding, of course, in shorts, but the sea temperatures here around are are between 23 and 26 degrees, so it's almost thermal, I can say. And here we come to stage number 6, our last day in Istria, when we conclude our loop again with beautiful sunset, as you can see here on the right side in Piran in Slovenia, full of, let's say, impressions from one of the most interesting regions in Europe, not only historically and in sense of culture, but also it is one of the most attractive regions for touring cycling. So this is it from my side. Thank you very much for listening to me. I will invite my colleagues to continue. Thanks.
Hvala, Andrej. So thank you, Andrej, for a really nice presentation. Before I leave the floor and the stage to my colleague Katja, who is an expert on everything connected with the logistics and payment and things like that. She's already replying to many questions you have in chat. I would just like to say a few words about what we offer, because there were already quite a lot of questions about it on chat. So basically we offer guided tours, self-guided tours, and tailor-made tours. When I'm talking about tailor-made, I'm talking about that we can extend the tours, we can make prolonged stages, we can make easier stages, we can take off the difficult parts from the stages, we can book an additional night somewhere, or we can upgrade some offer that we have. So basically more or less everything. And here one more information, I think very important for the self-guided tours is especially that each group, even if there is just a couple, have an opportunity before they come to Slovenia or to take one of our tours or to Croatia to have a direct Zoom call with one of our cartographers. Normally it's Andrej or Matic, and they explain them everything in details. And as well, they can adjust some of the parts of the tour according to their desires or abilities. The second thing is booking of accommodations. There were quite lots of questions about what kind of accommodations we use. This is our second presentation. And yeah, for next time, I promise you on the third one and all the next ones, we'll definitely include some of the pictures of the hotels. So if you have any questions, what kind of hotels we use, please just send email to Katja or to info. So now Mateusz or Katja will leave email into a chat, or you can visit our website and just send an email. About the luggage transfer, for sure, we take care of that as well. So you are traveling between stages freely without any luggage, just the bag that you would like to put some things in. But otherwise, we take care of that. So every day we transport your luggage from one point to another. And definitely we also organize transfers from the ending point of the tour to the beginning, so that you don't have to worry about any logistics. There were also quite a few questions about bikes. We do have a fleet of about 70 to 80 bikes. At the moment, we do have electric bikes, we have hardtail bikes, we have gravel bikes, we have all sorts of bikes. So basically, let us know which bikes you would like to have, and then we will definitely send the offer to you. But you can also check them on our website. We change bikes every 2 years, and we will normally use Scott bikes. It's the brand that normally we use. As you can see here, almost each tour still has at least 2 more dates available that you can join on a guided tours. But as I told you, if you're a group of people and you would like to have a tailor-made guided tour, no problem as well. We'll give you that opportunity. Some of the dates are already almost fully booked. Some are already completely booked, but still each tour that was presented today, we still have some places left. About the season and the 3 words before I leave the floor to Katja, especially Croatia, the perfect cycling is March, April, May, beginning of June as well, but then definitely I would avoid it July and August because it's too busy, too many people, too crowded, too hot. And then again, Croatia is really nice in September, October, or even in November. About the Slovenia tours, I would say perfect timing is between May and September, possible also in April, but in April the weather can be quite unstable. So now I think, Katja, I would like to invite you here. From my side, once again, thank you very much for coming. and listening to me. As you can see, and what already Andrej explained, we also have a MTB mountain bike program. We offer hiking tours, wildlife watching tours, and at the moment we are developing a long distance route that will connect all the Balkan countries. So it means Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Albania, North Macedonia, Kosovo, Serbia, and back then to Bosnia and to the beginning. So we have lots of ideas still in front of us. I hope that you will come and visit us. And now, Katja, please join us.
Hi, everyone. I haven't managed to answer all the questions because you are typing so fast, and I'm only one on the other side. But I will go through all the questions and answers. So even though if you haven't write any question down, maybe want to ask, then I will answer it. So if I start from the beginning, just a second. The presentation is being recorded. So after we finish, all of you who are here and also all the clients which were just and the interest will receive access to the presentation. So you can also share it with your friends or listen it again afterwards. You will receive the presentation to your email in a couple of days, hopefully as soon as possible. If you'd like to visit our website, I'm not sure if you all checked the website before the presentation, but if you haven't, address is visit-goodplace.com. And if you like to ask something we didn't answer here, you have any special interest or would like to know something we didn't mention here, was not mentioned here, you can as well send an email to info@visit-goodplace.com.
Katja, can I just interrupt you a little bit? We have a strange noise coming from your speaker. Can you come closer? And
yes.
Try to, yeah.
Is it better?
Better.
Yes. Better. Okay. That was asking if we provide e-bikes as well. Yes, like Jan mentioned before, we have hardtail bikes, e-bikes, gravel bikes, also some other bikes, maybe not so appropriate for this kind of tours, but you can check our bikes on the website as well. And I put the link to the chat box, so you can just click on it, or if you visit our website, you can see the pictures of the bikes and description, equipment, everything you need to know about the bike. Elizabeth was asking how many people we take to guided groups. Maximum people we take on guided tours is 8. This is also kind of official number of people here in Slovenia per one guide. So we take 8 people on guided group. Meanwhile, if you are considering doing self-guided tours, the number is not limited. You can do the tour as a single person, or I don't know, 15 people can do the tour as long as we have availability. Elizabeth was also asking if it's possible for a vegetarian person to take to do the gourmet tour. Yes, of course. Like Andrej mentioned during the presentation, the food is very various and very good here. We are somewhere in between all the different countries and all the food with influence from Italy, from the Balkans, and yes, there's a lot of plenty of vegetarian options as well. Meanwhile, might be a big problem for vegans. Horn was asking, Sarah was asking for vegan food. So I'd say you won't be hungry, but there might not be plenty of options because you are traveling mostly through small villages, small cities, and mostly local food is served in those villages or cities. So there are not many vegan restaurants available on the way. I believe you can find a vegan restaurant in Ljubljana, but in those small villages or cities, unfortunately not. But if you are fond of wine and olive oil and similar things, this works as well. But I'd say you would be a bit limited. Next question was from Amanda. She was asking if it's possible to do the tour with own bikes. Yes, of course. A lot of clients coming from Europe come to our tours with own bikes because they come with a car and it's easier to bring own bikes. They're used to own bikes. They know how to ride them. They have equipment they like or similar things. So it's possible also to do tours on own bikes. The prices are set without the bike. So renting a bike is optional. And if coming with your own bike, we can storage your boxes cases while you are on the tour, and we can deliver the boxes at the end of the tour at the pickup transfer. Anthony was asking if the routes are doable on good quality folding bikes. Yes, of course. If it's a bike, it's doable. But it's up to you really, because folding bikes bikes are usually less comfortable than a good bike with bigger tires, maybe wider tires. So if you are okay with that, we are also okay with folding bikes. The next question was from Carrie. If we can provide types of accommodations. The accommodations were not included in the presentation since we use lots of accommodations on the way. And accommodations normally depend on the availability on selected days. So if considering doing a guided tour, the hotels are pre-scheduled, booked like ahead, and we can of course give you exact information where you will stay on guided tour. If doing self-guided tour, you will select your own dates, and accommodations of course depends on the availability. So we can send you, I'd say, like we have a list of our first choice accommodations, and we can send you links to those so you can imagine what kind of accommodations we use. But of course, if after the confirmation those accommodations are not available, we have to use alternative ones. But we normally use quality, good accommodations. As you can see on our website, it's stated like 3 to 4 stars, but I'd say 3-star hotels in Slovenia are very, very good quality. They might not have, I'd say, I don't know, minibar in the room or similar, which are normally included in 4-star rated hotels. But despite the 3 stars, the accommodations we use are very good. All the accommodations have private bathrooms, of course. People are mostly staying in double rooms and single rooms, so single use rooms. The next question was, I think 2 persons left their emails. If any one of you would like to know what are our first choice hotels on the tours, you can send me an email. I dropped you my email into the chat box, and you write me down the name of the tour you'd like to do, and I will send you our first choice hotel for tour. Beth, I have your email, so I will send you, and I hope Carrie will drop an email as well. Okay, Sam, you can send me an email, like I said, and I will share the link with you. Okay. Sarah was asking, in case of arriving by car, is there a way to park the car safely while on the biking tour? So most of the tours start in smaller places like, I don't know, Bike Slovenia Green starts in Bike Slovenia Green, also Adriatic starts in Kranjska Gora. For example, it's basically Alpine village for a smaller city. So there's a huge parking lot there. It's not guarded. There's no garage because it's a tiny city. But all our clients leave the car there, and we had no problem so far. If starting the tour in Ljubljana, yes, of course, we can advise on the parking garages. There are plenty of options in the capital. Of course, in bigger cities, the safe parking options are not free of charge. But we can advise on that if arriving with a car. Miro is asking how much of tours is on a bike path, quiet roads, busy roads, gravel roads, and if it's possible to customize the tour to use exclusively bike paths and gravel roads. Unfortunately, it's not possible to do multiple day tour using only gravel paths and cycling roads. Why? Because the net of the cycling roads in Slovenia is not so well developed that we would be able to do multiple day tours. So we have to use local roads to connect different cities, different destinations. But we try to avoid main roads. We mostly use local roads. So if considering doing a tour with less local or roads, I would advise you to check our Istria to Adriatic tour. Istria to Adriatic tour is mostly running on Parenzana trail. This was the trail, as like Andrej described, the trail which is abandoned railway. Actually, it's a bit bumpy in some parts, but it's safe, free of traffic, and you will only have to cross the roads when crossing some parts or getting into the cities or things like that. Maria was asking if you can change accommodations while you are on the trip. So when you are already cycling, if you, for example, like the destination and you would like to stay one more night. Changing, so itinerary needs to be set in advance, and once the itinerary is set, you need to confirm it with 25% deposit. And once the tour is confirmed, we proceed with the bookings. We don't do the bookings ahead because this means we'd have to triple our stuff because people change their mind and it's not possible to do that in advance. And we'll do our best to, I don't know, maybe do some changes on the way if necessary, but the changes are usually not free of charge. You can imagine if you have a room booked a month or a year ahead at some place, and then you cancel it one day before arrival. So those accommodations will most probably charge us cancellation fees. And if changing the accommodations on the way, this means that clients need to cover the cancellation if you decide so. Sam was asking for more information on accommodation. So yes, Sam, I will send you information to your email. Sarah, I will send you accommodations too. Okay, presentations will be sent to your email, so no worries about that. Okay, Kat is giving us some promotion. She did the Istria to Adriatic tour last year, and they like it very much. Graham, you will receive the presentation over the email, so yes, no worries. Okay, Karis was asking, do the tours stay in places more than one night, or you moving every day? So if you check our itineraries, we move every day. Since the touring programs are considered as easy tours, rather easy, let's say, we change destination every day. If you are an average cyclist, you will do daily kilometers, daily mileage in half day, let's say. Or if you are a bit slower, you'll get to the next destination in midday somewhere or early afternoon. You'll still have some time to explore the destination, to have a good dinner, and so on. So yes, the places on the way are usually also very small, and because of that, we stay at each place just for one night. But if doing private, self-guided or guided tour, we can as well customize the itinerary. So you can do itinerary like you wish. So you can basically stay in each place for 2 nights or for 3 nights if you wish. We cannot, however, customize guided tours because the itinerary is fixed. Yes, we don't offer guided tours with more nights at one place. This is not possible, except if you do private guided. Only we can customize the itinerary only or guided. Or do you offer so if you stay at one place and do the loops? Yes, of course. We can also offer tours. For example, if you stay in Kranjska Gora for 2 nights, we can offer loops around. But again, because the places we cycle through are rather small, it's not, for example, possible to stay at one place for a week and do quality or like required daily loops in required daily kilometers. You would probably need to do some stages twice, and so I would recommend you to move from place to place. Maybe if doing private tours, stay at some interesting places more nights. Rochelle was asking, she was looking at prices on our website, but she did not find them. So you can find prices at each tour. At the first section, there's a tour description. In the second section, there's the itinerary. In the third section are the dates for pre-scheduled tour or possible dates for private tours. And in the section after the dates are prices. So when you see the prices, you will see the price for the guided tour, and beside on the right side, it's written. It's a button with self-guided, and if you click on self-guided, you will also get prices for self-guided tours. Mateusz also wrote the steps in the meeting chat. Okay. Kat was asking how the private tours work. Private tours, like I said, can be done as guided or self-guided. You do the tour as a private tour. So this means that if doing, for example, a self-guided tour, the tour is booked just for you, accommodations are booked just for you, you select your own dates and you go. So if doing guided tour goes the same, just with this difference that the guide is present on the tour. So the tour is basically organized private just for you. If you have more questions, I'd be happy to answer you over the email. So you can send me an email and I will send you more information if I was too short. Maria was asking if we have some suggestions on places to stay additional nights. Yes, of course. You can send me an email again, and you send me which tour would interest you, and I will send you some place suggestions. Maybe it's doesn't make any sense to stay in those small villages for 2 nights, but maybe in some bigger places, it's worth to stay additional nights. If you can send me an email, Maria, with the tour selection, I will then send you some suggestions on place. This is also valid for other. If someone is interested in additional nights or suggested places, just send me an email, and I will send you more information. Well, let me see if there's some more questions. I think, are we over? Did I go through all the questions, Jan? Or
Yeah, I think you answered to all of them what we have at the moment in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the emails are now, thank you. Have a nice evening. So yeah, if I skipped something or didn't see something, just drop an email and I will try to do my best to answer you as soon as possible. Thank you.
So officially now we are closing our presentation today. I think because lots of people came today, we will have some additional presentations in the future. Maybe we'll go and present each tour separately, we'll see. But anyway, like Katja said, whatever questions you have, just send us an email and we are happy to help you out with the answers. So thank you very much again for coming. And I hope to see you in Slovenia or in Croatia.
Thank you. Hvala lepa.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.